I'm with my mom and we're gonna make a real fudge frosting for my video, and this is my mom.
I'm Ginger, I'm Susan's mom.
Hi. First, get out all of your ingredients and your measuring devices and anything you're gonna need to make it, which we'll state in a minute. Go ahead and mix all the ingredients on the card that I showed you, except for the vanilla, into a heavy saucepan.
First thing I do is put my softened butter into the saucepan. And I just left it out on the counter until it was soft. The next ingredient to add to my saucepan are 2 cups of sugar. Something to level my sugar with as I measure it. And just dump it in. The next ingredient we'll add are 3 tablespoons of Hershey's Cocoa and our cream of tartar, like it's a place or something. And that was 1/4 teaspoon. Next, the recipe calls for 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is okay. Calls for 1/2 cup of milk. So I've gotten out my liquid measuring cup. Measure 1/2 cup of whole milk. Add it to the heavy saucepan. Would you like to take a peek?
Ew.
On a large eye of the stove, and you turn it to, I'd say, around 5 on the knob, which is about medium. Then you get out a good heavy wooden spoon and you begin stirring. And this is the part that is not fun, because you have to stir this until the sugar dissolves. And it takes a long time. And you have to stir continuously or the sugar will burn and it will not be good. It will be nasty. And will make a huge mess and ruin your pan.
Once you've got it on the stove, you can use a whisk to make it easier. And also, we've got our cake baking in the oven, and it's just a plain white cake. And I guess you could probably put it on any cake you want, but this works really well, and we just got it from Walmart, from, you know, the generic cake mix.
Actually, I've been stirring for probably about 15 minutes, letting the sugar dissolve. And I can see that it's about to come to a boil, which is what we want it to do. When it comes to a rapid boil, we will let it boil for 1/2 minute. Click it. I always like this part. You add 1/2 teaspoon vanilla. And of course you can always Okay, so after your candy frosting has cooled in the freezer or just cooled on its own, whichever route you decided to take, then you're going to put it into your mixing bowl or your electric mixer. You could use a hand mixer, would be fine, or a standing mixer like what I'm going to be using. Let's stop it. Okay, so I have it in my mixing bowl, and I'm going to start to beat it. When you cool it in the freezer, you might want to add just a tiny amount of milk to it. If you cool it just regularly, you might not need to, but if you do, you can. Just so that it can get nice and smooth, so that it's easy to spread onto your cake.